What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Dudes Who Bet Daily. Just me to start off the week for a Thursday. We got Magic probably stuck in traffic somewhere out in LA. And after being there last weekend, I can understand why. That is a mess out there if you're trying to drive. Papa Dude will be back later this afternoon for our show, but he's not available this morning. So just me today. And as Shadi likes to point out, today is podcast day. I'll give you the dates. I'll give you the times for all those shows. We do have 3 shows coming up today, all 3 doing kind of some different stuff. So I'll give you those at the end of the show. But before we get to that, we'll go through the games that I want to talk about today. Be a little bit of a shorter show with just me, but we will start with, and there's Dennis. Hello, Dennis. And by the way, if you're watching right now, feel free to drop your comments in here, and we'll get you on the show here. It's just me, so got to have somebody to talk to, right? All right, we'll cover the football game first, and this is going to be a dog of a game, without any doubt. Panthers and the Bears kicking us off tonight. Boy, these Thursday night games have been pretty darn bad. Look, Magic's best bet's going to come from this game. We'll talk about it here in a second. But for the Panthers and the Bears tonight, I kind of think the Panthers are going to pull what I guess would be an upset. They are the underdogs here. I kind of think the Panthers are going to win this game. I kind of think it's going to go over 38.5 as well. I just look at this Panthers team. They seem to be figuring out just a little bit. Young team, underly talented, let's call it. I just think the Panthers might have a little bit more going for them. I think they're going to win tonight. But this is a horrible game. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it. It's pretty bad. And as Dennis says, Panthers Bears, my excitement is about a -7. I would agree. I would definitely agree. Car Ramrod chimes in. Happy Thursday to you as well. Happy Thursday to Jesse as well. And yeah, Rodney, I'll talk about it now. The Breeders' Cup will be going to Del Mar back-to-back years, 2024 and 2025. And also, Rodney, it was great to meet you at Santa Anita for this Breeders' Cup. Finally met Rodney. So anyway, for me, I'm going to go with the Panthers plus the 3. I'm going to go over that total of 38.5. Let's get to a race because there's not much else going on in the sports world I want to talk about. So we'll go to the race of the day today. I think this is going to be a really interesting one. We're going to go Churchill Downs, race 8 on the card. It is an allowance for 2-year-olds going 1 mile and a 16th. So a 2-turn race here at Churchill for the 2-year-olds. I think this is going to be a good one, and I think we could have some interesting prospects lined up. Go ahead and throw in the chat who you guys like here, but I'm going to go number 5, Catching Freedom on top for me. Look, I think this Brad Cox runner was pretty darn impressive on debut, winning by 3 3/4 lengths, and I thought it was just it was nice the way, that he was able to do it. He wasn't like a speed burner on the lead, just outran him. He kind of sat off the pace a little bit, pounced at the top of the stretch, and just kind of ran away from him. So Catching Freedom, I think, is going to be pretty tough to beat in this spot. So I like the 5 Catching Freedom on top in this one. I also like the 1 First World War. This horse broke the maiden at Kentucky Downs impressively. Went to the Grade 2 Bourbon Stakes last time out at Keeneland. I thought ran really well. Got 4th, only beaten a length and a half. I thought this was a really nice race for First World War. The big thing is getting over, I should say, to the dirt. Can he handle it? That's going to be a big question. This horse is by Warfront out of a Medaglia d'Oro mare. Kind of leans more towards, hey, maybe we're going to be better on the turf. But, Brendan Walsh, pretty good trainer. Tyler Gaffleone gets aboard once again for the 3rd straight time. So good connections here. Horse has shown talent. So 5-1, kind of where I'm leaning here. Pretty chalky in this one. Michael Austin met Michael as well. He likes the 6 and 3rd, which is another horse coming from turf races where he performed pretty well and now getting on the dirt. This one, interesting enough, talking about the number 6, Uncle Mo, the sire, out of a Smart Strike mare. So that does kind of lean more towards maybe this horse will like the dirt a little bit. So I think the 6 is an interesting one as well. We'll see what happens. Rodney says, what's the backlash? How bad is it going to be for the Breeders' Cup being in California 3 years in a row? It probably will be pretty bad, but Rodney, I wouldn't worry about it. It is what it is. I think California is a great place to have it. The weather is amazing, and the facility, at least at Santa Anita, very spacious. No problems there. Del Mar's a little smaller, but listen, weather's usually good. I wouldn't worry about the backlash. I think it'll be fine. Dennis says the 5 catching freedom might be amazing, that the 10 has some potential as well to be a star. So we'll talk about the 10's parchment party. Dennis shouting him out here. Yeah, this is a Bill Mott horse who looked pretty good on debut at Churchill Downs. Same as Catching Freedom, only the horse did go 2 turns in that race. Fell all the way back to 9th, closed up for a nice win. So I agree. Usually Bill Mott, second-time runners, usually will improve as well. And we've kind of seen that with Bill Mott runners here lately with these younger horses improving in their second and their third starts. So, yeah, definitely the 10. I could see it too, Dennis. I think that horse is going to be pretty darn good. Car Ramrod says the 3 has a little bit of interest to him. He kind of struggled in 2 straight starts and then broke the maiden by 10.5 for Pletcher in the third start there at Keeneland. So I get it as well. I think it is one of those races. Anytime you got these younger horses, and we've kind of seen it, boy, you just never know, man. These seconds and third times these horses start, you really can't judge them too harshly. I'll talk about that on Blinkers Off a little bit later. Can't judge them too harshly. These 2-year-olds, they do kind of jump up and run better at times and not so good at other times. Number 3, Hightail, the sire here, a horse that was a Breeders' Cup winner, believe it or not, when they had the Breeders' Cup Dirt Sprint. Hightail won as a maiden. Little something that really nobody really wants to know probably, but I remember I was standing right there at Santa Anita when that happened. So, all right, let's tell you what, that's probably enough for the race of the day. Let's get to the best bets here. I mentioned Magic. We'll throw him out first. He had a best bet from the football game tonight. He's going to go Bryce Young over 215.5 passing yards. That's at minus 105 when Magic wrote in this morning to me on that one. So, yeah, and his basic thing was he thinks Bryce Young's starting to figure it out a little bit, starting to play a little bit better. So he thinks he's going to have a pretty good game. And he said also the Bears 5th worst in the league at defending the pass. So Magic really likes this Bryce Young over 215.5 yards passing. I do as well, and that's kind of my motivation to maybe take the Panthers tonight. I think Bryce Young, has some rookie mistakes, rookie problems. That's going to happen in the NFL, but I think he's playing a lot better now. So I agree. Good job for Magic, I think, on this one. Hopefully he gets that one home. Papa Dude going to go with a little bit of an upset. I think this is going to be an interesting game tonight. So he's going to take the Penguins plus 100 over the Los Angeles Kings. The Kings last night got a huge win over the defending Stanley Cup champion Vegas Golden Knights. It was a very good game from them. They came out early. They got the job done. They won 4-1. Now they got to go turn right around and play the Penguins. So I think Papa Dude's thinking, hey, Penguins are going to catch them on a night where they're a little bit vulnerable, and they're going to, pull the mild upset. So Penguins plus 100 for Papa Dude today. And like I said, if you're missing Papa Dude, he will be back later today. I'll tell you when. All right, finally, we'll go to my best bet. I'm going to go to Remington Park. I know that I see Pedlo in the chat there. Might make you happy, Pedlo. And by the way, Pedlo, I'm sure you watched Power Slam last night for Toby Keith. Just does not want to run straight in the stretch. So that was pretty funny. But let's fast forward to today. Race number 9 there on at Remington Park. It's an allowance for Oklahoma breds. And I'm going to go 21 and change is my best bet tonight. This is a horse, there's no question, a little bit better on the turf than the dirt, but the horse does switch to the dirt tonight. But I look at the pace of this race. There's just no other speed minus the 1. So I think for breaking from the rail, the horse should get the lead. He's in really good form. He's hit the board in 5 straight races. He's won 2 of those races. The 3 races that this horse has lost, he's been really close. He's been right there. I just think he falls on an easy lead tonight. I think he catches a field that's not that great. So even though we're moving over to the dirt, I think the number 1, 21 and change gets it done. That'll be my best bet tonight at Remington Park. Race 9, the number 1, 21 and change for me. Toby Keith owns a horse named Power Slam, and it's a pretty talented horse. It ran last night. I believe that was the 7th race at Remington, and it's run a couple other times. He just wants to run to the outside rail. That's all there is to it. He just wants to run right to the outside rail every time he turns for home. And boy, oh boy, it's comical, but I'm sure if you own the horse, it's not that comical to watch that horse run. But anyway, and his car Ramron says 1-9 and lost. I mean, should have been 1-9 in that field. From a talent perspective, I think the horse had a lot more talent than the rest of the runners, but just would not run straight once again. And poor jockey, just trying everything he can to get that horse to kind of run straight. And at one point in the stretch last night, I said, just ride him over to the outside rail and just let him go, because you could tell it's hurting the momentum of the horse because he's fighting the jockey instead of trying to, run his best. But you also don't want him running all the way to the outside either. So it's a little bit of a problem. All right. I could ramble all day on Power Slam and everything that's going on there with that one. I don't know why Pedlo, but ever since we saw that day, I've just been fascinated by this horse. And anyway, it is what it is. Yeah, if you watch the race, I think it's now 3 races back. He ran on Oklahoma Derby Day, and he did. They just let him go to the outside, and honestly, is probably his best race. So, and then the next 2 races, they've tried to keep him, normal, and he's fought the jockey, poor Lindy Wade, all the way through. So anyway, if you want to go watch something funny, look up that horse. All right, let's get to the best bets. Let's get you out here, and I'll set you up for what's going on today here at the Racing Dudes. Like I said, I'm going to go Remington Park, race 9 today. The number 121 and change. I think this horse is loose on the lead and will be awfully tough. Magic's going Bryce Young over 215.5 passing yards at -105. So hopefully Bryce Young has a good game tonight. And then Papa Dude's going to go with the Penguins +100 to kick off his week as well. Obviously 0-0. This is our first show of the week. First show in a couple of weeks. We weren't here last week because of the Breeders' Cup and everything that was going on with that. We're up $60 for the year, so we're still in the black, but we'll see what happens there. Rodney, quick question before we get you set up for the day. When does my horse run again? Husker Butch is at Churchill Downs. We're hoping to probably run once at Churchill coming up here soon at their little short meet here in November. So kind of look for him. He's probably about due to run in a week or two. And are you anytime soon? Are you buying another one? Not right now, but kind of how that works is if something comes up, if those guys approach me and they want to do another one, then yeah, we probably will. I probably will be involved, but at this point, no, we got Husker and that's enough for us. We're kind of 1 or 2 horse stable at this point. So we'll see though, Rodney. I mean, I'm always up for it. So we'll see what happens. We'll see if anybody says anything to us. All right. Those were the best bets. Here's what's going to happen today on the channel. We've got the first show will be Blinkers Off right now, 2 o'clock Central Time, 3 o'clock Eastern. Blinkers Off. We'll kind of be recapping the Breeders' Cup, what we learned from the Breeders' Cup. So we got that coming on then at 4 o'clock Central, 5 o'clock Eastern Time. Magic Mike will be back. They're going to do the late pick 5 from Del Mar. So late pick 5 from Del Mar on Saturday. So Magic Mike, definitely going to be a pretty good show as they kind of turn the page and move on, which will be nice. And then Dudes Who Bet Sports at 5 o'clock Central, 6 o'clock Eastern. We're going to start with stories from the Breeders' Cup. So you're going to get some behind-the-scenes stories that happened for the Racing Dudes team there at the Breeders' Cup. And then we'll also get Papa Dude's thoughts on some of the races, as he hasn't been able to talk about the Breeders' Cup yet. So we'll get that. And then we'll do the football coverage after we start the show with the Breeders' Cup stuff. So a lot of fun, a lot of things to look forward to today. It's going to be a hell of a fun day for sure. So, all right, guys, thanks everybody for joining me for this one. We will be back, like I said, here in a couple hours with Blinkers Off, and just keep it tuned to the channel after that. 3 straight shows coming up for you. So thanks everybody for joining me today, and we'll see you right back here in a couple hours.